go with an installer that you're comfortable with. Every installer should properly educate their customers with thorough explanations. Installer needs to be very comfortable with installing the film that they're certified in. Also, you should stop up to see some examples of their work. If they decline, simply just move on to another installer. It's our job to ensure that the customer understands our process and how we install the film. We show the customers where they might find an edge, but we tend to go that step further to hide that edge. We always tell the customer that we strive for perfection. We won't reach it, but we tend to get close. We cater our services specifically to every customer, their paint protection needs, their budget, and what the vehicle will be used for. We don't like to upsell because we hate the feeling of being sold. We may recommend things based on similar experiences we've had with previous vehicles that are the same, but at the end of the day, the customer is our #1 priority. You can always expect us to underpromise and overdeliver.
With the PPF, what's the best way to maintain it, keep the car clean, keep the PPF in good shape and whatnot?
Yeah, absolutely. You always want to wash the car by hand to reduce the amount of lifting edges that can occur. And when you're maintaining the car, you also want to use spray waxes and sealants to maintain the hydrophobicity. And you want to avoid paste waxes as they can haze the film. And you also want to avoid solvents like paint thinners because they can remove the urethane top coat.
So like a simple detail spray, that's good?
Yeah, super easy, absolutely. Quick detail sprays are perfect for maintaining the finish on your paint protection film.
All right, cool, and absolutely no power washing, right?
You can pressure wash. You always want to maintain about, I would say like a 24 to 36 inch distance away from the film. That way, you reduce the possibility of lifting an edge on the film.
So I remember when I got PPF before, and one of the things that really bugged me was that when I had to remove it, I saw crazy knife marks all over my bumper, my headlights and everything. What do you guys do to just make sure that doesn't happen, or is it inevitable that you're just gonna cut into the paint?
So there's certain things you could do to not cut into the paint. I mean, we like to use modified patterns from a computer plotted software. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the car and figure out what areas we need to digitally extend. We'll go ahead and we'll extend that as needed, just so that way we're not trimming on the paint. You want to reduce the amount of trimming that you're doing on paint by doing the opposite, trimming off the paint. If you have to wrap a hood, you want to make sure you're using a sharp knife, steady hand, and you kind of want to guide yourself a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch away and make sure you're not really doing any trimming on the paint. There's also something else that we can do, and it takes a lot of practice, is when we have to cut on the paint, because there are times where we have to, and we try to make sure it's in an inconspicuous area if we do. But there's areas, if we have to cut, we make sure that we're just scoring the film, meaning we're not putting a lot of pressure on the knife or cutting. We kind of drag it across, and what you'll hear is this squeaking sound to let you know that you're just piercing the film.
Gotcha.
And then when you get to an edge at the very bottom and you go through, you should be able to tear off the back edge, kind of like a zipper.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like breaking into the skin, but not like poking it right through to the meat. Okay, cool.
Yep, you're exactly right.
Awesome.
Yep.
So with PPF, when would you recommend someone get PPF, after they get their car?
Yeah, absolutely. So you always want to get paint protection film on as soon as humanly possible. You want to prevent driving it until you get the film on. Otherwise, if you get a rock chip or you get a scratch or any sort of chip or ding, it just really defeats the purpose of putting film on in the first place. The idea of the film is to protect your paint against abrasions. In the meantime, if you go to drive it and you get a chip, a door ding, anything of that sort, you got to have it fixed before putting the film on it. So you always want to have the paint protection film put on right away.
Ceramic coating, tell me a little bit more about that. Like, what's the difference between ceramic coating and PPF, and why would you want to do it together?
Sure, absolutely. So the difference between ceramic coatings and paint protection film is that ceramic coatings are more of like your elemental protection versus paint protection film, which is your abrasive protection. The ceramic coating is going to protect you against, say, like the bird bombs, tree sap, sort of buys you more time to remove that, and it makes cleaning them a lot easier. The paint protection film is there to protect you against rock chips and scratches. Ceramic coatings will not do that at all. You want to do them in tandem, honestly, if if you're looking to, say, protect the front end from abrasions and protect the rear half from the elements. We can always do a full body paint protection film application with also a full body ceramic coating install as well. So we can put the ceramic coating over top of the paint protection film with no negative impacts.
All right, so the most important question of all,
Okay.
what's pricing like for PPF, ceramic coat, and the stuff that you do? What's the pricing like? How do you price the stuff out?
So that's a great question. So the price varies on square foot, which is, and this is for paint protection film, which is the size of the vehicle, complexity and intricacy. How complex the vehicle is to do with, say a lot of like our Tesla front ends, it's just pretty much straight across. There's no little intricate areas where there's carbon or any vents. So naturally these take more time. And the last being our potential completion time. You know, so if it's something that we've done a lot, we tend to charge a little bit less for that. If it's something that we know is going to take a long time to do, we do have to charge for that.
Oh, very cool. Sounds reasonable. So then,
Yeah.
all right. So if someone's interested, what's the best way to get in touch?
Yeah, so the best way is to give us a phone call. You'll talk to me directly each and every time. We don't have an answering service. You're always going to get myself. You can send us an email, fill out a form on our website, or if you want to interact with us and see our stuff on social media, you can always find us there and send us a message. I'll be the one getting back to you as well.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Cool. Thanks, Nick. Have a good one, man.